What it is, what it do, what's poppin'. It's your boy Marquise Q Sav in the building.
What's going on? It's your boy Sharon, aka Trigger Trey Knight.
Hey, what's good with you? It's Ray Rashawn.
People of God, Pastor is here doing Rap Double Slam.
Shoot.
It's your boy Easy E.
And we are back with another rendition of the episode, another go round of the Weighty 8 podcast coming to you live from the Heartbreak Hotel.
The one and only.
The one and only. But we have two special guests joining us this afternoon, this fine Saturday. Well, Friday, my bad. We have a little drunk from last week. We have Bri Lewis coming to you.
Hey y'all.
Where you from, Bri?
I'm from Columbia.
Columbia, born and raised.
803.
I heard a lot of people aren't real from Columbia. Is that true?
Oh, shit.
That is not true.
She the realest right here. So.
She might be. I know some other people from Columbia. They're not that real. So.
Wow.
I mean,
Point them out.
hate to see it.
And we have the host of Degreeless, also the owner of Jonay Media, Alexus Sumpter, also in the building.
Jonay Media.
What's your slogan? What's your catchphrase?
Jonay Media.
Jonay Media.
It's literally all I say. You already know. www.jonaymedia.com.
Not.com.
Official.
Not .where.
The official.
I ain't gonna lie, she a little bit more official than us.
Nah, okay.
What's been going on with Jonay Media lately? What y'all got going on? What's updates?
Nothing much. Just I do photography now. I've launched merch for Jonay Media, and I also do custom work now. So I do cups, coasters, keepsakes, t-shirts, build websites, run social media accounts. So if you need any of those services, just hit up jonaymedia.com. I got you.
Wow.
There we go. So what's the Degreeless podcast about? Like, what's that? Give us a rundown of that.
Well, Degreeless, I made that podcast basically to touch on different life issues in South Carolina because it's not really addressed as well, especially being a black female. There's a lot of topics like hair, skin color that a lot of people don't want to touch on, so I made something where I can have a free space to talk.
That's legit. I listened to a couple episodes so far, and I really like it. So what do you think is like one of the biggest like problems that you see a lot of female podcasts are getting into? Like, you're the only, not only, but like one of the few girl podcasters I actually listen to. So like, why do you think that's like one of the things you don't see a whole lot of?
I think because a lot of people try to paint females, especially black females, as being over emotional and like not knowing exactly what they're talking about.
Go ahead, my bad.
But no, seriously, like especially being in a mass communications major, for example, a lot of people think that when you talk on certain topics as race and sports that you don't know as much as you're talking about because you're a female. And so I felt like that was one of the obstacles that I ran through, like trying to start my podcast, because when I did a sports show, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I didn't think that you would know what you're talking about just because I was talking about football, basketball. So it's like when you're talking about certain topics, people love to question you because of your gender.
Wow.
So it's like they'll go and fact check you, and it's like, do you think I would really be sitting up here talking if I didn't know what I was talking about? If I didn't know what I was talking about, I'll be honest. I don't know much about it. So I think that's one of the annoying things. And then people think that you're too passionate because you speak on certain topics. But I feel like that's how you have to be to move throughout life, is be passionate. Because if you're not passionate about it, then why talk about it?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people even tell like if you're passionate about what you're talking about, they can tell it's something you want and whatnot.
Passion is dangerous. Passion is very dangerous.
So why was y'all boys laughing at what she said earlier?
No. I wasn't laughing at what you was saying.
I was just.
I was just.
It was a little good.
I do have a question for y'all.
I do.
I do have a question.
What's the question?
The word female. I heard you use it earlier. That's why I giggled.
You said it.
Look. You said it first. That's why. That's the only reason I'm bringing up the question. What is the
negative connotation?
Yeah, what is the negative connotation that comes with the word female? Y'all both can answer.
Let me say something.
Okay.
The word female is just a word.
Right.
Like, because I'm coming from like a medical background, that's biology. Like, it don't mean nothing. Like, this male and this female.
Right.
So what people get mad about is the tone that's used when speaking in that nature, because that inflicts a certain level of disrespect. So if I'm having a conversation with you and you don't like what I'm saying and you call me a female versus a woman, the tone that you say it in like disrespects me, and that's what the problem is, but not the word itself.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Bri on that one, because it's kind of like people try to use that as like the downplay whatever you're saying or like what's going on, instead of like being a woman or calling you by your name, like just addressing somebody with respect. That's just like if I called y'all that male, like y'all wouldn't have liked that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I was gonna say I agree too. Like, if you think about it, the way I think about it, when I be like woman of God, man of God, who says female of God? Like, that don't sound right. First female of the church, like female don't sound. When you say a woman and lady, it just sounds like it's higher up. Female, it sounds like we're just knocking them down a little bit in my head.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Like I said, it's always a respect level. You want to talk with respect to somebody, not just say, that female or that woman. I mean, it's all about not what you say sometimes, but it's how you say it and the tone that it comes off as. So, I mean, we just got to be, reminded to be careful about how things come off, because like you said, people take things certain ways. Not everybody, I might say it to you, it might not affect you, but if I say it to you, it might say, oh, well, what's wrong with you? Why are you disrespecting me like that? Because everybody, they don't take it the same way.
So what I'm hearing is that we can say it, but it's just how we say it. That's
what it is.
That's what
It's like the context you're using it in. So if you're saying it to be like downplaying somebody, you know what you're doing when you're saying it. So it's like you can take the word, like you can take any word and say it different ways. It's going to mean something different to everybody. So it's how you say it, not what you say.
Like the word bitch.
Yeah.
How do y'all?
Yeah.
Just like with that one, you brought it up. So go ahead and talk about it. How do y'all feel about the B word?
I personally don't like the word at all. I mean, just because
in any setting,
because that's like, why you want to call somebody a female dog? Right.
But I feel like y'all do that. Like, I hear girls be like,
you do that. Now, I don't personally do it just because I don't like the word. Because so many people throw the word around loosely and then they get in an argument, and then that's the first things a dude want to call a female when they get in an argument is a bitch, like the B word. So it's like, the way it's used so often, it's kind of like it's really no need to use the word. Like when you say the word, you're trying to be offensive, or if like you say, girls do say that, like bitch, but it's just like it's another way of what we were saying earlier is how you say it. So, but I just don't use the word at all. I personally don't use it.
If I see you and they're like, hey bitch, I'm like, is that cool?
No.
Okay. So what I'm hearing with this one is that it doesn't matter how you say it. It matters who says it.
So it can be.
That's what it is.
That's
what it is.
I say don't say the word at all. I'm just the person that don't use the word at all because I don't like the word.
Right.
But like y'all said, other females or other women do use that word.
Okay.
You see.
But did you see how she said it?
I said earlier, it's not the way
I
you
just say that in
said
the same context. A woman, see, I had to change my tone.
Okay.
Good
job.
Learning.
They would get upset. You know what I'm saying? If I say what you said, and I'm gonna say it, and I want to know if you take offense to it. Say what you just said with that word.
A female?
Mm-hmm.
Or a woman?
Yeah, what was the sentence you just said?
What was the sentence you said?
Oh, I don't know.
You said other females might.
Other females or other women.
Okay, I'm going to say it, and let me know how you take it. Other females or other women.
That's basically the same thing.
It's the same thing.
No, but
you could say like them females, like you, like kind of subjective.
The times I've said female, I haven't mentioned the derogatory term.
Okay.
And somebody still will say something about it.
Like,
did you mean it in like a generalizing way? Like where you say,
I think that's how everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think
females. I was talking about anybody that's
like the group
female.
Yeah.
Even if like a guy's gonna have a girl and someone says like, oh, y'all females get on my nerves, y'all females do this, like
it's equivalent to niggas to me.
That's what
I think it's like the setting you're saying it in, and like we said earlier, the context. So like how you said it just now, you were just generalizing females and women.
Lord,
but like when you when you putting a stereotype behind it, like them females, that's when it gets a little tricky because it's like you're trying to paint all females as being whatever you were saying.
That's the same thing with niggas though.
Yeah.
But I don't use that word either.
You'll never use the word.
Okay.
You call me nigga before the podcast.
I'm saying like I try to stay from using that word because that's not a good word to use either.
Right.
So there's no conversation you can have and say the word female and it just be a smooth conversation. That's what you're saying.
I don't have an issue with the word female.
It's depending on the person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. And okay, so I meant to ask you this while they were saying like, you know, with the bitch word.
Oh,
so
You said that.
I'm about to say, yeah. Look, I heard the tone. That's what you're saying.
Like with the bitch word. So like I said, I was trying to attack it. So like, if a female says it and the male says it, they saying it the same way. What is your like tone towards each person? Is it the same tone towards both of them, or is it like,
It's gonna be different.
girl, stop playing nigga, what the fuck you say to me?
It depends on who that person is.
Yeah. It's like the relationship I have with that person. Like, y'all are like, you know, I consider y'all the home team. So if y'all were to say it, I probably wouldn't even get mad. I just look at y'all
Let's
like.
start it right there. I would never call any girl,
Yeah,
woman of God, a bitch.
But I'm saying
Even if I
like,
have permission.
if like what I'm trying to get at is like the relationship, like, so how close I am with y'all. If y'all would say it, I wouldn't get as mad as if somebody wasn't really cool with just said it to me, because then I'll be like, who you talking to?
Right.
Like, I'm quick with it. But like if y'all would say, y'all know when y'all say reckless stuff, I just be like, and I just look at y'all and just like go on with my day. But it's like she said, it's the relationship of the person. So I don't think it's like if a guy said it or if a girl said it. It's kind of like.
And some
Who
women
it is.
refer to themselves as a bitch.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying because they say I can say. I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference.
I'm the baddest bitch.
But what the guy uses it as like a compliment? Like they like, hey, is that your girl? Yeah, that's my main bitch. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not a
Stay away from that.
bitch. That
Can't-
nigga got
yeah.
multiple bitches.
But I was trying to like make it sound better. Not
Well, you can't make that sound, man. Ain't no way around that.
That's my shorty or something like that.
Yeah, like most dudes use old lady.
Yeah,
Somebody
old
says
lady,
my
that's
baby.
one thing, that's what it is.
So that'll get you.
That gets your foot.
It doesn't sound like there's any context in what you got can use, honestly. So
that's what it sounds like.
sound like another word we got to stay
Just
away
don't
from.
say it.
Yep.
It's just easier not to say it because you never know how someone's gonna take it.
That's true.
It really depends on each person. Me and Bri can only speak for ourselves.
Right. Well, that's what we had.
Y'all really y'all speaking for women right
Yeah.
now, like all of them. So like what y'all say is how we gonna take it from here on out.
And probably all the male listeners as well.
Yeah, they're right. I mean, they said it.
Honestly. So kind of switching like the gears here a little bit. Have y'all listened to the new Kalani album?
Yes.
Thoughts, opinions, concerns?
It
Great.
is. It's really good.
Rate it out of 10.
You know, that's what we do.
Yeah.
If you can't do out of 10, do out of
I
5.
hear 8 coming, 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
That's good.
8.75.
Yeah.
8.75.
On the dot.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that.
Are we rounding it?
No,
We're not rounding. Okay,
Yeah.
so it ain't 8.7.
And I say that because you can listen to the whole album all the way through. It's very smooth. It's like relaxed. It's one of those like you taking a road trip, and those one of those albums you can play and you can listen to them all the way through.
Before we get in there.
Yeah.
So what y'all giving it that 8-point decimal rating or whatever?
75.
Yeah.
7.5.
Wait, 8.75?
Yeah.
8.75.
Oh, you didn't hear that part? I thought
I
you
missed the 5 part. Golly.
So, would you say the same thing about the Janae album? Do you think those
I think
two?
Janae was a little better.
Janae,
Absolutely
Yeah,
better.
she-
I'm about to say,
yeah.
let's not disrespect.
You could just be
They're
vibing with her.
levels.
Yeah.
They're levels.
I'm telling you.
You know, the deluxe.
Kalani
is
was
on-
good, but, you know.
The deluxe is on the way. Just letting y'all know.
Go for it.
Kalani's?
No, Janae's.
Chalambo.
Who?
Chalambo.
That's the album name.
I thought.
But-
I thought you were about to say Jelani. I was like, who? I said, Lord.
But
Jesus.
no, I feel like Janae's album, it was more of a, I don't know, just a feel good album. Like, it was very like, you could vibe to it,
Chakras.
but anytime, it wasn't like you had to like,
Be in a certain mood.
a certain
It's
mood
good for
to
your
listen to.
soul.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing she focuses on. Like she's all into like the meditation, like aligning your spirits and energy and stuff like that. But I was gonna ask you guys, so like, what kind of, you know, when women artists put out these kind of music, like, you know, Beyonce had Lemonade, you know, that kind of invoked a certain feel. Like for you all as women, what kind of feeling did you get listening to Kalani's album? Like any rage, any I hate niggas, like anything like that coming up? Or-
No. It was, for me, it was more of like a chill album. It was like she was speaking real, so it's kind of like, oh, like stuff like that happens. So it's kind of like you just like I wouldn't say an eye opener, but you just kind of relax.
It brings like sexuality to
Yeah.
the forefront too. 'Cause
Yeah.
she talks about that in a lot of the songs. So just dig deeper into your own.
Yeah.
I guess with the album.
Because you know she had a recent breakup with YG as of lately. And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of that kind of got transcended into this album per se. How do y'all feel about that whole relationship?
I didn't like it from the start. I'm not gonna
like
it.
it.
Yeah.
It just didn't look good. You remember that video? I think they was dancing on stage. And I think Kalani might have been grinding on him or whatever. He pulled her clothes. I don't know. That just looked really awkward.
What did he do?
Pull her clothes or something. I don't know.
There was just a whole bunch of cringiness going on.
I don't like them together.
You don't like him together?
it don't look like the match that you would think. Like that don't look like she gonna be happy for a while. She gonna suffer.
But it was on off for a minute.
Like she was gonna suffer. I think that was real toxic.
Yeah.
That was real toxic.
I'm biased though because I love Party Next Door, and she was with him like first.
Well, let's see. Yeah,
I did not know that she was the same girl that was involved with Kylie Irving and Party Next Door.
Party made a song about Kalani.
Same one.
Yeah.
What was the freestyle Party made about?
Kalani's freestyle.
Yeah, bro, that freestyle was amazing.
I'm telling you.
But we can't act like Kalani is a victim this whole time. I'm talking
No,
about
she's
for
she did Kyrie wrong.
part. Yeah,
she did Kyrie wrong.
Because
She
she tried
caused
to
Kyrie to go into a minus PR. I don't know. It was like plus minus like 15 for like 5 games straight. That's serious.
But I mean, I think that whole situation because she got dogged bad for that situation. I think she almost committed
all her
suicide.
pages on social media.
That pushed her almost
And
committed
Party
suicide.
sings about that in one of his songs.
He does.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
So that's a very touching thing. But like I said, relationships and situationships are serious.
Speaking of that, toxicity.
What
What
Say
is
it again. Say it again.
Toxicity.
Okay. Wow.
It's in the dictionary, Webster.
Let's talk about it.
What's toxic in y'all's opinion?
What is something that niggas do that is toxic?
Mind games.
Being dishonest.
Wow.
Being dishonest.
Like lying.
Yeah.
Lying. You just know why liars.
Like.
But it's a different type of like.
Yes.
It's like they
Different
play
types of lying?
games. Like
To get what they want. That's what you said.
yeah, it's like you don't have to lie. What people don't realize, if you just be honest, you're gonna either run into the people that's gonna either accept your honesty and go along with what you're saying, or they're gonna say, "No, I don't want to do this," and y'all go your separate ways.
Right.
But instead of just being honest at the forefront, most people try to lie their way through, and then once they get comfortable, then they true colors show, and now they're looking like, "Well, why you mad?" And it's just kind of like, if you would have showed me this from the beginning, I could have, treated you how you should have been treated.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Manipulation.
You got a lot of words going around
I'm
here.
about to say,
A lot of Webster.
I feel like we're gonna chew on this one for a while.
Fellas sitting at home like, yeah, this is.
But I mean, I think you just gave a good example. Like, I don't think it's gonna be that black and white though. Like, if you tell someone what it is, they're not gonna like just go like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this."
What the fuck
I'm
you
gonna do this. Like,
disrespect?
usually, I'm not gonna lie. If you tell someone what they want to hear, that's not really what they want to hear at the time.
Exactly.
It's
They
not,
say that, but they don't.
It's not, but I respect a dude more for just being straight up with me, because then I can determine for myself whether I want to deal with you or not.
Right.
And so, like, it's like you giving me a choice. Like, do you want to deal with me or not? Because this is how I am. And so that gives them a choice to see whether they want to deal with you. And if they continue to deal with you, then they can't get mad for what you do.
But they do.
They do.
They do that.
There are girls that do that.
There is. But I'm like, okay,
They speak for
from
themselves.
my perspective in my past, I respected guys more for being honest. And if I felt like I didn't want to deal with them because of whatever they told me, that was our business and we just went our separate ways. But I would still be able to hey and bye when I saw them. It wasn't like no hate feeling, because it's like I just felt like you wasn't for me and move on. And like, I don't know, I'm just real big on honesty, because like even my relationship now, my boyfriend is real honest, and so both of us are real honest. And so it's like when you have that honesty, you don't have to worry about looking over your shoulder.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So is honesty, do you consider like, because I feel like there's a way you can go about it. So like there might be people where you ask them and they'll tell you, or do you expect them to be upfront about everything? Like which one do you feel like you expect?
I feel like you're trying to say directness and honesty are two different things.
That's what I'm basically trying to say.
Yeah, like I'd rather honestly, I just rather somebody be upfront in the beginning, like just go ahead and give me full spill. Like, I'm not saying full spill like who you used to talk to, all that stuff, because I don't really care. But like I'm saying, but I'm saying basically like what type of individual you are.
Wow.
So like, what's your personality? What are your ways that you feel like, this is what I would have to be okay with to deal with you?
That makes sense.
And so if you can be honest and tell me that straight up, then I can tell whether or not I would be able to handle that, or whether I would like to deal with that. And then as the relationship or the talking stage goes on, then you can ask questions and then just be honest about whatever they ask you. Because I mean, to me, the truth hurts worse, yes, but you can respect somebody more for telling you the truth than them lying. Because if you find out they lie, then that turns out to a whole other situation. But I know with me, if someone tells me the truth, I don't get mad because it's like they respected me enough to be honest.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to the game.
So y'all feel like y'all want somebody to be direct, or y'all rather like if you have a question and you ask them, they just tell you direct?
Please be direct.
Yeah, direct.
So you want me to tell you?
You just want me to just tell you before anything happens?
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now.
This guy's not looking for it. Though.
If you have a certain question that you want answered, ask them.
Because
I'm just telling you how guys think.
Yeah, because when you hear certain things direct, like even though you say you want that, when you hear it and when you feel that, like maybe I didn't want that, and it's like it kind of comes back on us, like, well, why'd you say it that way? What made you say it in such a manner? Why did you tell me that? And like, well, that's what the fuck you asked, man.
You see the
it really is. So I really feel like girls should just ask, and as us gentlemen, we should be able to answer that question.
Yeah.
Like truthfully,
nothing is wrong with the way you're saying it. Like I feel like we ask and you tell truthfully, then it's kind of the same thing. But like you're saying, you don't have to be as an open book because you, like you say, are not going to be an open book. But I just think what we getting at the whole point is just being honest about everything. Like don't feel like you have to hide yourself to be with somebody.
hide yourself. What do you mean by that?
Hide yourself as in not showing, like, not being your true self around somebody.
But I mean, can you truly do that though? I mean, is it an understanding about hiding yourself?
You saw what?
Like understanding, like some people they do hide themselves, but is that good for the better of the relationship? Like I understand, like when you get to a point where you don't want to show like your true self all at the beginning, because I think people they get this shell and they just like, all right, well I'm not gonna give them my all right now because of like I understand you don't always do like the I've been through this and stuff like that. I'm not trying to get hurt again. That's understandable, but I think people take that to a different level and they allow that to overall hinder them from getting somewhere with somebody. So it's like, do you accept like hiding yourself and like just working your way up to it, or do you want somebody to just give it to you?
I think it's natural I think it's human nature for us to kind of like we'll shelter a little bit. We're not gonna just the first time we meet you, we're not gonna just tell you everything about us. Like first of all, because we don't know if you're here for a season or if you're here for much longer, so we're not just gonna tell you everything. So I feel like with that, it could be like a girl having that mindset and a guy having that mindset, and they both trying to talk to each other, and sometimes like that just
doesn't work out.
Yeah, it just doesn't work out because both parties are thinking that way.
No, I definitely see what you're saying with that one. And I think Rashawn is right. It's kind of like you have to warm up. It's kind of like I want to see what's the reason. Where are we trying to end up at?
Right.
What's the goal of us talking to each other? So it's like once you kind of figure that out, and then you continue talking, and you decide whether y'all, want to deal with each other on that level. And then I guess like it's like levels. Like as you move up, you open up more and more. You kind of just break away.
You
that
earn
shell.
a piece of them. Like,
yeah.
You just, like certain pieces of them you're not gonna get because you ain't earned it yet. Like you don't need to know everything.
I think the problem comes in that when people try to put like a time stamp on it, like in 6 months y'all should be doing this.
Absolutely, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
Every relationship is unique
because expectations will fail when you put a time stamp on. You gotta just let it play out. Like the weirdest and the most hated saying, if it's meant to be, it'll be. Like nobody wants to hear that concept, but I mean it's true. I mean if it's meant to be, it'll be.
People want to get the truth.
And the main question I have for the ladies, like I know us as a group, we talked about this on the Note to Self, Say True to Self episode. But like, do you believe in like love at first sight? Like, what is love at first sight to you? Even if you believe in it, and if you don't, why not?
I don't particularly believe in love at first sight because I'm a type of person like I can meet you and not feel anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can meet you and just be like, okay, they cool, but it's not like on no level like that. And when I meet somebody and be like, I have this connection, like all of a sudden, it's kind of, you have to work to that. I'm a vibes person, so like the more I'm with you and the more I'm conversating with you and I pick up on like your personality, yes. So it's not like, ooh, no. it's like I can see you one day and talk to you and not think of nothing of it and run across you a couple months later and then it's just like, oh, okay, you know.
I think it depends on the type of love.
Wow.
The different types of love.
Absolutely.
Yes. There's like the romantic type. You know what I'm saying? But see, you know me, like I love the Lord.
Right.
That's your first.
The first time I saw Jesus, I fell in love.
That's what I'm saying. So like, for me, love is all around. So it's just it depends.
Sheesh.
I fell in love with him.
Wrap me in your arms. Yeah.
Period.
But I feel like love can be blinding too because you can think that you love someone, but you can like decide not to see all the other flaws that come with it as well.
Wow.
Lust. That right
That's
there.
lust. But I feel like lust is a type of love though. I think it's like
It
the
is.
physical attraction of love.
It's like you said, it's a physical attraction. It's kind of like the materialistic things. Like you're attracted to somebody for like their features or you know what they have more so than
What they
can do for you, or not more so what they can do for you, but who they are as a person.
Mm-hmm.
When you genuinely love someone, I feel like that's a romantic love because y'all connect on another level.
I think lust is when you see, like how you say you see the package, but you still want them. I think that's lust. And then love is when you see the package and still want them. Lust is like you don't really recognize the package, but you just want them in that moment.
Love is Blind showed that perfectly.
That was a good show too.
That showed that perfectly. Like, you know, you're not being able to see, all you can do is hear and just go off of that. But then when you see them, you start to be around them, and you start to see their true self, and then you made that decision where you thought, okay, is it still love or is it lust?
But people say that though, but you can't not be like you gotta think they look good in some like shape or form. You gotta be attracted to
You
them.
have to be.
So like,
You have to be.
You got to.
Like,
You don't want to be mean, but
Personality literally only goes so far.
Yeah,
no,
that's-
literally.
Yeah.
Like, you could be the prettiest thing
It can go
in the
further.
world, but
Same with looks though. Like you gotta have a.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean-
But when you initially start talking to Sean, like the personality thing, like you gotta have something to look at.
yeah, you got like, God, yo, you can't be
I
like,
mean, I
damn.
hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I
I feel like it complements each other.
Yeah.
Like you can have the personality and don't have the looks, and then like, or you can have the looks and not have the personality.
But why would you want to do that to
You know how many people? You know how many people you probably met like have the look but don't have the personality?
Some people's personality make them look better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
I know a couple of, obnoxious people
Jeez.
that make their
All right.
All right, we're off right
I'm just saying, you got that like, you got them two type of dams. You got like damn, and you got that damn, like that disappointed damn.
These are two types.
There's two types. It's like that, like I'm excited damn, and then you got that like disappointed like damn. I don't think this is gonna work. Bro.
You would tell them that, or you just keep it in the
Yeah, that's the
back?
thought you have to yourself.
Well, no, I mean if it ain't gonna work, I'm just be straight up honest. Like, hey, this ain't gonna work. But I do wish you the best. Like, I mean, that's the thing about me. I'm not gonna like leave you hanging. I'm just like, hey, it's not working out for me. But I do wish you the best. God bless.
I do wish you the best.
Keep it pushing if you need
It's
me.
like a rejection.
Yeah.
Well, since we're on this topic, I feel like we should
All right.
the talking stage.
Wow.
I feel like this is a topic. Sometimes people give.
And you give it.
But what is talk? What is talk?
What? All right, to y'all.
We already had a discussion on it.
Yeah, we had our discussion about it. So how do y'all feel about the talking stage? Like,
Is it real? Is it a myth?
It's absolutely real.
Is there a certain amount of time in it?
It's
Yeah.
childish.
How do y'all feel?
It's childish.
Childish.
Ooh.
Why is it childish? Why is it childish?
It's childish.
Why?
Because what is that?
That's what we're trying to find out.
Like, what is
That's what we're
Talking to be exclusive. Talking just to talk.
talking as in communicating? We're talking right now.
Right.
Wow.
No.
Correct.
I feel.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
I feel talking and dating are probably like on the same sphere, and then I don't mean like dating exclusively. I mean dating.
Like going out on dates. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Dating.
okay, I
That's
got
what I
you.
mean.
I got
I
you.
get
I
it.
got you.
Mingling around.
Right. I feel like they're like
Dating.
no, it's not.
You don't think so?
No, back in the day,
Uh-oh.
Tell it.
Go back in the
people used to court.
Right.
Before they used to court someone, they would be dating,
Right.
as in going on multiple dates with like different people. Like they would just be dating, and then if they were dating one person, they were dating exclusively.
Oh,
it was
the
courting.
times have changed.
So where does talking?
I feel like talking is just a new word for dating
Why can't we just say dating? Why are you so scared to say dating?
because I feel like no.
We're not
Let's,
scared.
now I'm about to say, hold on.
Like, why?
The people. Let's get back to the word y'all. Let's use that term loosely.
I feel like most people don't want to put labels on things, so that's why they don't want to use dating because dating is way heavier.
Talking is
and
safer. Like, say we talking.
yeah, it's safer.
Y'all dating?
Nah, we talking.
I mean, like, because people gonna take that wrong. Y'all dating? Like,
when your
technically, we've been on a few dates, so yeah, we dating, I guess.
When your family asks you, you introduce her, who is this? This your little girlfriend? Oh no, this is my friend.
See, that's another problem.
Don't do that.
First of all, that's a problem.
What?
Don't bring nobody.
I mean,
you
if
can't
you're
bring
not
nobody to
dating
go see
nobody exclusively, you shouldn't be bringing them to see your family
Absolutely.
anyway until you feel like you're ready to take it to that next
They
level.
need to be in a relationship. That's
Yeah.
That's sacred.
It's so like you said, like I'm with Bri, talking and dating is literally the same thing. Like they just switched the word.
Right.
So like the dating stage is like you basically getting to know each other, trying to figure out whether y'all compatible, whether y'all can take it to the next level, whether y'all want to take it to the next level.
Right.
Then you take it to the next level, and that's dating exclusively, or relationship, and that's when y'all together, like it's just only y'all two.
Right.
And then that's when if you bring around your family, your friends or whoever you want to bring them around, you feel comfortable, then you do that.
But I feel we really need to clear this up for the people
We have
because
to.
I feel like sometimes we get confused by all these different words, dating, courting, like talking. It's getting a little too confusing because sometimes we don't like. I feel like some people have expectations of dating exclusively in situations of talking,
Right.
and I feel like that's when a lot of times people get hurt.
There's no universal like understanding that this is what it is. Like everybody got their own little definitions of it.
I can see that.
I think the problem is people are assuming. I feel like you don't know when you're in that spot because that communication will already been had or will be had. Like there's no reason for you to assume that you guys are talking exclusively when you guys haven't had that conversation.
Exactly. I mean, but it takes two people to come to agreement. One person can't agree to that, and then the other be like, "Oh, I'm with it if you with it." Like, we need to come to an understanding. This is where the communication piece, because like I said, nobody, nowadays truly communicates. Everybody just go like I said, some people go off the vibes like, oh, the vibe changed, so I guess we talking. Like that's how people really base off relationships.
Can't guess.
Like you can't guess that. Like you have to understand, communicate with me. Like if you talking to a girl or one of y'all talking to a girl, like, hey, what are we doing? That's the conversation we got to have. You can't go off of like, oh, we holding hands now. Oh shit, we dating. We up there now. Like, nah, we got.
I mean, well, you don't need to be doing that unless you.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like you can't. Just back to what they were saying, mind games. You can't be holding hands with them. Like out in public, and then they be like, whoa, we not dating exclusively now. Like they gonna be like, what? I'm confused.
Yeah, I think that's where you and Eric are getting at, the assuming. It's like, don't act a certain. Rashawn and Eric, when they were saying earlier, like
I want to make sure y'all talking about this.
Like with the assuming in relationships, like you can't act a certain way towards somebody and show them that you want to get to this next level and talk to them about it, but you're mentally not there.
Right.
So your actions is showing it, but your mind is not following with your actions. So it's like your words is not aligning. So then that's where the assuming comes in. So because it's not clear communication.
Okay, so to counteract that, if I may. So going back to bring it back full circle to the mind games. If I'm doing stuff as a guy that I should be doing, like treating you good, like taking you out on dinners and stuff like that, and then you over there planning our whole wedding and stuff like that, is it that I'm playing mind games on you, or you just moving too fast and you're not really communicating like what we got going on?
Yeah.
Some girls.
So is it really a mind game if you're just on a different level of our relationship than I am? Because if I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do as a guy, like treating you nice, taking you out, maybe like show you to my homies, like I'm thinking that we're just kicking it, but if you over there planning, like talking about our kids' names and like what we're gonna do like 2 years from now, then
well, the problem is if she's having that conversation with you and you're not saying anything, this is your fault.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have to step up and speak up about that because,
wait a minute, you're going to talk 2 weeks. Like you need, or like X amount of time. Like relax, we're not there yet. That conversation.
I think that's the problem with guys. Like guys assume that the girls know this, but the girls think that the guys know.
Sharon will tell you. Sharon will tell you. You talk about a wedding. Hey, you need to make sure your funds are situated first before you talk about a wedding. You know how much a wedding costs? I said, coming from experience, you know how much a wedding costs?
I don't.
I said, yeah, that about $15,000 to almost $20,000, depending on where you're trying to go. But you got to understand, like with that conversation, and like I tell people now, it's just like with a job, like relationships, job, no matter what in your career field, you got to understand it's one day at a time. Like you start thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do this job for 20 years, or I'm gonna be in this relationship for 20 years. You can't think that way. Like it's good to have that positive mindset. But you don't want to set yourself up for that failure because this is what you're going to be looking for. This is your expectations, and they might be they're good. God have mercy.
Take your time.
Look, they might not see like what you're trying to get at. They might like, I'm not ready for that.
Sitting on the edge of the
And
seat right
I mean, but it's true. Like a lot of people aren't ready when you're ready, and that's the standard that might hold somebody back. Like you might be so ready and you want to hold on to a relationship so bad, and that's what keeps you from your happiness. But the other person is like being stagnant. They don't want to go that far yet.
Stagnant.
But you can't live and be okay with that. Like you have to do what makes you happy, and I tell that with everybody. Like if you're not happy in a relationship, I mean, if you done talked about it, you done communicated just what you're looking for. Like if y'all been talking for 6 years, and don't get me wrong, that way
Talking for 6 years.
y'all been talking for 6 years.
Now that's the mind game.
Exactly. If y'all been talking for 6 years, then that's where a problem coming in, because nobody has made an effort to make it. Are we making this a commitment for me and you to be together and go forward, and we take the next step? What is the next step for us? We're not gonna be sitting here just, oh, we talking. What are we? I'm not gonna be asking you that every damn fucking month. No, we're not doing that. Can't do it, won't do it. Okay.
I understand that one, especially like.
Look, period.
Don't talk about it.
Now he said better. You did so.
Trust me.
Look, anybody listen to everybody? Yeah, I'm not going to do that. That's what I got on my affairs.
That was the Holy Ghost.
All right, so I got a question. So as far as when you're talking or dating, whatever word you guys want to use, what do you do when you bring that person around and your friends don't like that person?
Wow.
Whoa.
Well,
Why don't your friends like
okay.
Why don't your friends like I think we got to touch on
You
that.
gotta be careful.
Why don't they like
Let's say
and which friends?
vibe might be off or
Attitude.
Are these friends happy with themselves?
Wow.
That's a good question.
That's the
a good question.
That's the question.
But okay, so we only can answer the questions that we know about. So as a
That's a big question.
That's a big question.
Because sometimes people are just happy because y'all all are in the same boat.
Exactly.
And that's when
I'm only friends with you because we all
struggling right now.
we all single and we all
Yeah.
And so when somebody make it out,
they don't like that.
When I'm getting mine.
And
mad.
just because they're your friend, that don't mean their loyalty match where their words are.
right.
That's it.
Wow.
So you gotta like reset.
Somebody
You
just
gotta
woke up there.
see. So you gotta see what brand is coming from and whether they're being genuine about it, and then you have to like figure out within yourself whether you feel like that is true or not. Because you can't really go off of what your friend says. It's whether you're happy, whether you want to be in that relationship, because that's really all that matters. They don't have to live with that person, or they don't have to be with that person.
Y'all might not even be friends next week.
Yeah, so it's like, can you see yourself being with that person regardless of the flaws? So, because they might be pointing out something that's true, but could you deal with that?
But you gotta see it for
What
yourself.
about as early as the talking stage? So like nothing is defined, nothing is concrete, but it's just like your friends have that vibe, like he might rub me the wrong way, or maybe we had a incident where we bashed heads or something like that off a conversational basis and stuff like that. Like, how do you approach that? It's just it's not as deep as like, oh, we're in a relationship. This is, oh, we're talking and my friends feel some type of way to the person I'm talking to.
If we're not in a relationship, you don't know my. I might like introduce you to my friends because because the friends like that are actually friends are like family, so I like hold them like to the same.
Yeah.
So like, and if you're not like, hey, this is my girlfriend, or if I didn't meet you through a mutual friend, I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, this is the person that I'm dating right now, because
So you wait till it's official to like bring it around. Okay, that makes sense. That's a sick bit.
And even like what she said, like my friends, all the ones that I'm still cool with now, they're like family to me. Like I would do anything for them, they would do anything for me. So it's like to that different standard of like we're family. It's not even the friends no more. Like you're my sister, you're my brother. So I wouldn't even bring anybody around if we wasn't on that serious level.
Right.
So if I wouldn't bring you to meet my mom and my dad and my brother, then wouldn't bring you to meet my friend.
To meet the girls.
Wow.
Yeah. Because that's kind of like on the same barrier for me. That's family.
Okay.
So it's like
we can mention you if like we need advice about something, but like as far as meeting in person,
I feel like most situations, if we're being real, most situations, if you're in that situation where you feel like somebody doesn't like your significant other or whoever it is, it's probably because it's based off of something they've heard about him or her, and they probably heard it from you. If we're being real,
That's fair.
Nobody's not just gonna look at you and just be like, I don't like him. It's gonna be based off of something they like had an experience with like either they heard from somebody or something. It's not just gonna be like they look at him and just like, oh, I don't like him.
Yeah,
I don't like her.
yeah.
It got to be a certain reason. There's gonna be a certain reason why they tell you I don't like him. It's a reason behind it. It's not just because.
Now some friends want what you got going on too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I done been in situations where they said they didn't like this person, and then I'm like, you know,
Date
whatever,
them,
and I'm still dating them, and then after me and that person break up, who with them?
Oh,
Wait,
And that's the tea.
Real friends.
What kind of friend is that?
So you gotta, like I was saying at the beginning, you gotta know whether those are your real friends or not. Because like he was saying at the beginning, some people are with you for a season.
right.
So it's like, I'm not bringing you around nobody that I don't feel like I really can trust. That makes sense. Like,
That definitely makes sense. But I guess while I was like thinking of going off what Eric said, like once you get to like being like married and stuff like that, like I'm the kind of person I like to practice before I like actually go into the game. So I have to be in a situation, understand like, okay, this is how I navigate. If we were friends, if I can get along with your friends, and if I get to your family, like how I interact with your family, like what's gonna happen if I meet your family and I don't like them. Like at every function, probably gonna be your family there, like Thanksgiving, family reunions. There's gonna be scenarios where I just can't escape your family, and I cannot go not go to every function. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people will be like, "Well, why your man never come into our function? Like, why such and such?" Then the room's gonna start all over again. So
Right.
We don't like us.
I'm just the type of person like, I like to practice something before I like get really into it. That's just me. So meeting your friends might be the practice of meeting your family. That's how I look at it.
Because if you make it through the friends,
If you make it through the friends,
make it
That
through
gives
the
you
friends.
confidence for the
Yeah.
person.
yeah.
Ooh,
Because
I like
if the next girl make it through y'all, God bless her.
I do agree with that one because like I have a best friend like from back home, and me and her have been friends for like years. And she's the type of friend, give me the good and the bad. So when I'm like talking to somebody and like, say for instance, my boyfriend now, when we started dating exclusively, she was like, okay, what's his name?
Right.
I told her her name. She was like, okay, what's the good things you like about him? Told her that. What do
Is your
you not
therapist or
like
friend?
about him? My friend, but she really,
If it's a
she
real friend,
really,
it's both.
yeah, she really like broke it down. She was like, what's the good things? What don't you like? Could you live with the things that you don't like? And she was like, if you can live with the things that you don't like, then it sounds like,
Y'all supposed to be together.
you know, that's good for you. She was like, but she did know him from like previous like school, so she knew what type of person he was. But she was just like, you know, I know him and I know you, so I'm happy for both of y'all. She was like, but you're my best friend. If you can deal with everything that comes with him, then I say do it. So like, if you have a real friend like that, I don't see anything wrong with like, you know, having them meet your friend and then meet your family.
Dear neighborhood, y'all might need to run that back because Lex just dropped a big gem just now. I hope y'all heard that just now.
Hey, they can go back and listen to it.
Yeah, that was tough.
So we were talking about this. Is what I wanted to ask like a while ago. So as far as dating, like the actual like act of like going out on a date. Sean, I think we was like at some like restaurant like 2 years ago, and like they got a discussion about first dates, and some girls were like, if my man take me to Subway for the first day, the guy I'm talking to take me to Subway on the first day, then we can't like, I don't see no future for us. But I'm like, if I'm about to test drive, you know, the car, like, I'm not going to take it all the way down to Hemingway. I'm going to take it, you know, to some local.
Can't take it to Hemingway.
That's what I'm saying. I can take it to some local like venues, so like maybe a Subway, maybe, you know, down to Scranton, you know, like local stuff. I don't see the point of like going all out on the first date.
Right.
I will say, for some girls who have that mindset, I think it's a little bit shallow. But on the other hand, you can do better than Subway. Like, take me to real Mexico or something.
Yeah,
It's still
yeah.
local, but like,
First
Some
impression.
hole in the walls.
First impression.
Yeah,
is very
It's
important, though.
everything.
I took my prom date to Sonic.
That's the same option.
I mean, it is the same option. I mean, y'all get a little.
So, no, one over there by the Toyota place.
Oh,
Okay, I was gonna say, that was a little safe.
I feel like it really depends on what type of female you're talking to
type of what?
whether
Whoa. You heard it. You heard it now.
It sounds like
It's not me.
This type of
It's a
woman,
reoccurring thing. I keep hearing it. So I'm glad we're having this
you
conversation.
learn it.
it's like whether you whether they're materialistic or not.
Wow.
Because it really depends on how you grow up and how, you know, what standard you like feel like you want to set yourself for. I don't see anything wrong with somebody taking me out on a first date, somewhere local because we're just meeting. We're we're trying to figure
Right,
out
that's what I'm
everything. Like you don't have to spend a bunch of money. Like
And I won't.
I'm a type of person.
You sad, buddy.
I can't.
I'm not. I refuse.
Yeah, it's like I'm more about the conversation is the first day for me. It's
Wow.
like, can I connect with you?
Right. That's the key, really.
Yeah, so where we eat at, as long as the place ain't nasty,
I
I'm
was just about to
fine.
say, we're not going for Subway. We're going for each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Correct?
So-
I don't want to take you to Ruth Chris if you can't handle Subway.
Right.
If you act up in Subway, you're going to act up in Ruth Chris. So we're going to start regular. And also, I don't want to start big and know I got no money because when we start going back down, then you're going to be like,
What is going on?
we started at Olive Garden, now we going.
You know what they gonna say? You know what they gonna say? Girl, he playing mind games.
Yeah, he played me because we went to Olive Garden last week and then this week we had Chick-fil-A. Let's start up and work our way up.
That's another thing.
But
When
we ain't
you're
gotta start
like
about-
trying to see who you want to date or take out somewhere, like you have to observe their mindset.
Yeah.
Like don't be talking to no girl who thinks that like who can't realize we in college.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, cause like with me and my boyfriend, like I wasn't jocking him for all that. Like I'm just like, okay, like this is what we gotta do. You want to take me here? We'll go here.
White lobster tails.
Let's go.
Yeah, like I'm
Now,
with
special
Bri on that
occasions, we
one.
can go all out because I'm going to save.
That's
You
what I'm
gotta earn
saying.
it.
Like,
You gotta earn vacation.
it's a certain level of maturity.
Yeah, like you don't have to. It's not really the place; it's who you there with that really matters. So to like me, long as the food is good, I'm a food person. So long as the food good, I'm happy. You got me. But like, if just don't take me nowhere nasty.
But we
Like-
gotta unpack also. We feel this way, but we also have some corny men that don't really have personality, so they have to flaunt their
They have to
money.
do that.
Yeah.
Or like take you somewhere nice in order for them to feel like they're doing something.
Right.
Because they lack personality or lack just themselves.
That's
No.
good.
And there ain't gonna be no second date after that.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Because you can tell when you get there and the conversation is not there, and you're just like, the whole time you're just like,
It's like them
I'm
pauses.
But
Them
he-
long
he
pauses.
good
Like
drinker.
yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
I got a question.
Oh.
So,
Gotta answer.
For female
how do y'all
or
feel
male?
for both? How do you feel about when you're dating somebody exclusively paying for the meals?
Wow.
Can you go 50-50 sometimes? Can you pay for it one
most
time?
definitely.
Goes, they pay for the next time.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
If we exclusive,
If we exclusive,
You gotta understand.
we're a team.
Right.
So if I eat, you eat,
Right.
regardless of what it is. Like so,
Yeah.
like if you want to pay this time, I'm not gonna be like, no, absolutely not. I'm gonna be like, okay,
You got
do your thing, babe.
and guys should be dated too. Like
Yeah, because like,
take them out on dates.
I just wonder because people feel differently about that. I know with me and my boyfriend, like, we might go out to eat. I pay this time, he pay this time. We might go half this time. So it's just like, like you said, it's 50-50. So it's not. I don't feel like you should have to pay for somebody every time y'all go out.
Right.
Like you should either meet in the middle or the person cover it this time, second time, like stuff like that. But some people don't have that mindset. So I was
And
just
that's
wondering.
dating exclusively.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me on a date, now I'm gonna expect you
You
to
pay
cover
for
it.
it.
And if I ask you on a date, then I'm gonna cover
Yeah, that's how it should be.
I don't think a lot of women have that mindset.
No.
No, that's how that should go though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should.
Like if I ask you to lunch, like, hey, you want to go eat so and so? All right, I'm gonna pay for it because I asked you. Do you like, you know what I mean?
Don't be
Yeah, at
stuck.
some point, your money gonna be my money. It's gonna be our money. So we can go out all these places, but don't be
The
asking
two
me.
will become one at some point. So either way,
You can't be stuck when the waiter or the waitress come up and say, "All right, you putting this on 2 separate checks, or we doing this on
Now you
one?"
be looking real shook
Now,
when she
right.
asks that question.
Look, they gonna look at you like,
and if you say separate,
"All right, just
You
know
don't
that's
have
your
no-
last one."
Y'all won't be
That's your
separate.
last one.
No, for real. Okay, so I have another follow-up question after that, kind of like going off of what Rashawn said. So I think there is something that 21 Savage once said, not too long ago, that a man will build a woman up if she doesn't have anything. Like he's like, I guess on a different level, like financially, like spiritually, whatever. Like he'll give the girl a time of day to like make sure she's up like straight. But he says it's not the same thing if it goes the other way. Like girls won't give a guy the time of day if he doesn't have nothing, trying to get himself together if she's already established. So y'all see some truth in that, or y'all think that's?
I don't think it's necessarily true. I think it goes back to say what me and Bri were saying earlier about it depends on what type of woman you're dealing with. It's like whether they're materialistic or whether they genuinely want to be with that person. Because if you genuinely love someone and you genuinely want to be with that person, as long as they're not, like, my whole thing is if you're working on yourself and building yourself and like trying to do better, then it's not an issue. But I think it becomes an issue when they're not, and they're just doing whatever, and they don't have no real goal.
Yeah.
I personally think like no man, like he not gonna put that much into somebody who don't want to put that much into themselves.
Yeah.
So like I don't think a man would want to build somebody up who's not already building.
The patience is key in that asset. Like I said, it definitely depends on the person because you can't give that to everybody. Because like I said, people use you in that asset and they're like, oh well, you know. I mean, some people will shit on you when they get to the top. Like they could have not had nothing. You know, you gave them this. You know, led the pathway for them. And like with relationships, friendships, like you could have built them up to the person they need to be today,
right.
and they can give that all to somebody else, and that can hurt you like no tomorrow. But you got to look at it like it's a growth standpoint. You didn't do that, you know, for no materialistic thing. You did that because it came from the heart, and I think that's the thing. It has to come from the heart to understand that you helping them to help them to get them somewhere to better themselves. And I think that's the best thing. You bettering somebody.
I think all the stuff we talked about, talking, dating exclusively, courting, whatever it is, none of that gonna work if you broke it. If you still hung up on the last person you was dealing with.
Correct.
None of that's gonna work. You gotta have a clean slate. Like it's just not gonna work if you ain't over your ex.
It's not gonna work if you're not comfortable with you either.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta
That's
love
a
yourself
fact.
Right. So
That's a
fact.
last season of singleness,
Hallelujah.
like, you gotta be whole.
Yeah, because if you love yourself, then you're gonna set those boundaries to where whether you're gonna deal with this or not, what you're gonna deal with, you're gonna hold yourself to a different standard. And so when you hold yourself to a different standard, you're gonna know whether you want to deal with certain situations or not.
Right.
So like she said, when you love yourself, then regardless of what happened, you still gonna be happy.
You still gonna be good.
So you don't have to depend on nobody else for happiness. You shouldn't have to depend on nobody for happiness. You should be happy, and y'all both should be happy together. But if you're by yourself, you should still be able to be happy.
Okay, so have you ever met someone that's too independent? Like they can stop talking to you tomorrow and they'll be fine with you. Personally, I can't. I can't say I can't, but like if a girl isn't scared to lose me, I don't know if I can be able to work. Like if not talking to me for a whole day doesn't affect you, I feel like that's a problem.
That's a big problem.
I agree. I feel like what you're saying has true, huh?
Are there stages for that though? Like into where you feel like that should be a problem? Like if you're just talking, like should that be something you're upset about versus talking exclusively?
You know, if we're in a relationship
Yeah.
and you're not talking to me for like no reason.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Yeah. Like, how can you go a day? Like,
Are we talking to females or women?
Alexus, which one are we talking to?
Hopefully women.
Hopefully women, because we ain't doing the females. Can't do the women.
Okay. So, I mean, is there anything else you guys have on the top of your mind you want to ask us? Or no?
what? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you can.
What do y'all feel like men do that can be toxic?
And do you feel like you are men?
That we are what?
No, like mindset. Like,
The men that we about to discuss that are toxic.
No, she
like
personally.
individually.
She has two.
Like,
Do
do
you
you
think we're
consider
men?
yourself a man?
To answer the
Second
second
question,
question,
yes.
absolutely yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
The first
thing is-
question.
Well, I'm gonna answer the second question. You can go to the first one.
Okay.
I think it's a matter of like, for me, to be a man, I feel like I want to perform. I want to be like what a man's supposed to do. A provider, someone that's self-sufficient, can take care of himself, and maybe a significant other, maybe be able to provide for their families and stuff like that. It's those actions I feel like that really propel you to that status of being able to call yourself a man. Because you can have that mindset, but for me, like I have the mindset or whatever, but it's just like, okay, I'm not where I want to be. So sometimes I'll be like, man, I got to keep working. I got to keep working, and then when I'm there, I'll be able to distinguish myself as that role.
So, are you a man?
A young man.
Everybody has an house show.
They just say it's a yes or no question. And you just give a whole.
No, that's what I'm
No, that's
Okay.
good. I'm glad you said that because, like I said, a lot of people don't know the definition of trying to get to that point.
Wow.
Like I said, a lot of people they stuck in that like boy mentality and they don't want to get there. Like I said, but there's no boys in here. I've seen everybody grow as a man. Thankful for y'all brothers.
We're definitely men. Now back to the first
What was
question.
the first question?
What was the first question?
What is it? Toxic men? What are?
What do you feel that men like? What as men do y'all feel like y'all can do to be toxic? Like, what is toxic to y'all?
That we do or that
Yeah,
men do?
that men do.
Okay.
Men
I
do.
was like,
Men
I
do.
don't know.
Communication.
Let's be specific.
I think it's communication with some men. Like I said, I mean, I know I talk, but communication with certain men, they don't like to dig deep in their like emotional side. They don't want to talk to you about that stuff because they feel like that makes them weak. And they don't want to tap into that. I think that gives women more security when they're able to talk and dive deeper into certain topics and conversations. And I think that'll definitely help out with the talking stage. And like I said, relationships, exclusive, marriage, engagements, like you need communication in order to survive. So
okay, so to back off what you're saying, do you feel like toxic masculinity is a thing?
It definitely is.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're taught early to not show our emotions. Like if you cry, you're being soft.
Being vulnerable is weakness.
Yeah. So I feel like to answer your other question about what things that men do are toxic, I feel like men not knowing what they want as quick as or like at the same level as women is something that we're toxic at being. Because I feel like a lot of women, it's a proven fact that women mature faster than men. Yeah. Women live longer than men. So men, like, they usually like think short term for everything. They don't think of like making a family. They don't think about having kids. Like they don't think about all that stuff that women obviously think about. And it's something that everybody wants to have a family at the end of the day. But women get to that point a lot sooner than men. And we always, not gonna say we play mind games, but we always kind of have one foot in, one foot out. We want to see like what lifestyle has to offer. We also want to like make sure we have something established when it's all said and done. Mm-hmm. So having that ambiguity, like between men and like between your significant other, I feel like that's a toxic trait that men have, not knowing exactly what they want when it's time to like really like answer that question, like what am I going to do now?
I think that's a good answer.
Can't argue with that.
You can't.
Yeah, that was good. Hit
Well, I think we reached our time with our female guests. Want to give women guests. Any parting words for our women guests? Well, yeah, women guests.
Oh, okay.
Look, he said it.
So I be.
I will say that.
I guess I will always say be true to yourself, and don't settle for less than what you're worth.
That's real. That's good advice.
Dang, I'm gonna have to thank y'all for having us. I'm a big fan.
Well, it's your boy Marquise Q-Sad signing out. See y'all in another episode. Peace.
It's your boy Sharon, aka Trigger Trade Night.
Alright, y'all boys, ready to Rashawn.
People got y'all stay blessed and stay in the word.
Speaking of the word, like I usually say, though sorrow may last for a night, joy does come in the morning. It's all gonna be alright. Peace.
See you.